Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Welcome to your second financial planning session.
I'm super excited to see what we can come up with today.
Last time, I know we talked about your financial goals being creating a budget, graduating, getting a full-time job, and then looking at those student loan debts, how to pay those off more effectively and get a game plan around that, and then probably start investing because you mentioned that as well.
Yes, those are still the goals. It sounds great to me. Please help.
So today, before we develop a game plan, we just first need to see where do you stand in your current financial life. So that way we can figure out the big picture of what are we going to do now moving forward to help you reach these goals more effectively. So I know I sent you home with some homework last time, that financial planning checklist. So let's just start by reviewing some of the information you put. So it looks like you're not working yet, right? But you have these expenses, and I did some quick calculations, and it looks like there's about $3,300 a month in expenses between rent, utilities, food, your travel. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, this is based off of what I project my expenses will be. Right now, I'm in Maryland, so I'm fortunate enough to not have a long list of expenses, but this is just a ballpark. The process of gathering all of the data of how much money I spend per month was scary a little bit, but also enlightening. I didn't realize that I was spending that much or that I will be spending that much money, but it also was really helpful in just making everything really clear insofar as how much money I need to be earning in the future.
I like it. This is so helpful because this will give us a starting place. And then obviously with a budget, anytime we're creating a budget, we're going to have these projections of what your expenses are. And the whole idea is just to review and track against that to see, okay, what is really happening and how do we keep adjusting along the way to make sure you're bringing home enough income to pay your bills and then save and invest for the future as well. You mentioned you have checking and savings, like close to $5,000 between those two. And what did you have ballpark in student loans?
So in student loans, I have about $27,000.
The wonderful part about student loans is, usually they're lower interest. Are you making any payments right now on those?
No, I haven't started making any payments.
When we create your budget, what we'll do is we'll figure out what will be the monthly payment on those student loans and just incorporate that in to your cash flow. So when we mentioned $3,300 of monthly expenses, we'll also include on top of that whatever monthly payment you're making to the student debt. The idea is with your cash flow, we have $3,300 roughly of projected expenses. Then we want to add in the student loan minimum payment, and then maybe we want to put an extra $200 on top of that to pay it off even faster. And then we're going to look at your cash cushion. So you had about $5,000 between the checking and savings, which is great. But ideally, we want to build that a little bit more. Typically, we want 3 months at least of your expenses in cash, because that's going to be like a buffer. So anytime you have an emergency or an opportunity, you can pull from the savings account. And then finally, we'll look a little bit more toward the investing. That might be dependent upon your job, if you get a 401k. If not, we can look at something like an IRA, which is a retirement account that you can open up. And then all of that is going to be great, because then we're going to say $3,300 plus the student loans plus the amount you're saving into your cash plus the amount you're going to start investing. Maybe it'll go up to $4,000 per month. That's the number you need to pay your bills and save. So then that'll give you a framework as to how much you should be asking or looking for in a salary when you start to apply jobs. So does that all make sense so far?
I do have a side question. You mentioned it very briefly. What is a 401k? What is that?
A 401k is a retirement plan that's offered at a company, and it's for retirement. So you actually can't touch the money until you're 59 and a half without a penalty or taxes. So you have to think of it as long-term investments. So the 401k is just the account name, the shell. You, as an employee, get to contribute money into that 401k, and then you get to invest that money in the stock market. Any contribution you put into the 401k, you get to deduct on your tax return. So let's say you put $3,000 into your 401k in 2022, that $3,000 gets deducted from your gross income, which means it lowers your tax liability. It grows tax deferred, meaning you don't have to pay any taxes on the growth, like as it's building and growing and compounding until 59 and a half, or whenever you start to take the money out, you don't have to worry about taxes. And then whenever you do take the money out after 59 and a half, that's when you pay taxes on the money. Another great part about the 401k, if your employer matches a contribution, so you'll probably see this in your job offers, and they'll say, okay, Ashara, we have a 401k plan and we'll match 100% up to 4%. So that seems very confusing.
Yeah.
Basically what they're telling you is if you put in 4%, we'll also put in 4%. So that's technically like free money to you because it's coming on their end and it's going into your account. So that's why they always say if you get a 401k and then you get an employer match, at least put enough to get the full employer match because it's free money.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Makes more sense now.
Excellent. Okay, so what I'm going to do from now is work on the roadmap, like I said. So next session, we're going to have those exact steps, the exact, outline of what you need to do. How does that all sound?
I'm feeling good. I feel like I have a lot of clarity and it makes me really excited about where the roadmap's going to go.
All right. Well, thank you, and I'll see you next session.
Well, thank you so much. I'll see you next time.